Hi, welcome to another episode of Unboxing Entrepreneurship with Pallavi. When you're starting out a business, it is easy to do things on the fly. It's more convenient. But when you're trying to scale, it becomes really complicated if you don't have systems and processes in place. I'm talking to Bhavana Shah, the founder of Earthy Hues, and she's going to share how having a systematic approach in her business has helped her grow. Let's get right into it. Hi, Bhavna. Welcome to Unboxing Entrepreneurship with Pallavi.
Hi, Pallavi. Thank you for inviting me to this session.
It's my pleasure. And, I've watched your journey over the last, what has it been, 2 years at least. And I had so many questions for you. So when I was thinking about what to ask you, but I think something that we have not covered before on this series is about building processes. And I thought that's what we can talk about today. But before we get into it, do tell us a little bit about yourself and Earthy Hues.
Yeah, so uh, our story or the story of Earthy Hues is that of a love for travel taking the shape of a profession. So since my childhood, I have been passionate about traveling, exploring offbeat locations, experiencing different types of cultures and all. And this is what my passion for travel had inspired me to transition from corporate world to the beautiful world of travel. And now at Earthy Hues, we are here where we curate immersive travel experiences for the travelers, which not only brings joy to them, but also helps in contributing back to the communities and nature. So this is our journey at Earthy Hues, a joyful one and an adventurous.
Awesome. So you've been doing this for a while, I know, and it started out in a different location. Do you want to give a little bit of background about where you were before and what really inspired you to create something like this?
Yes, so I started my career in 2001 and I was part of corporate. And then 2012, we happened to move to Africa because of my husband's job. And I mean, the open grasslands, the vastness of the raw land, I mean, beautiful landscapes, cultural diversity, and all that triggered my passion for travel more. And when I used to come back and share my experiences with various friends and families, then they also wanted to venture out into those locations and have those similar kind of experiences, which is why I thought, why not give it a shape of a profession? And that is how I got into this. So I mean, yes. And it was like Africa, it was, you can say, manifesting your dream. Because when I
Yeah.
was very small, I used to watch these giraffes and zebras on Discovery Channel. And
Hmm.
maybe somehow consciously I would have manifested. And
Hmm.
I was there seeing them right
Yeah.
in front of me. So that is
Awesome.
how I got into this.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so let's get to the discussion today. So we were talking a little bit in the past about having very clear processes and having a systematic approach to growing our business. And of course, now you're going through the program at NSR Cell at IIM Bangalore, right? So I'm sure there's a lot that you have learned from there, which you're implementing in your business. But what I have seen from the beginning, even when you were a solopreneur, was that you had a very clear idea about how to approach a particular quotation that came, or how to approach a particular client that came. So what is it that what not inspired, but what is it that made you feel that it was important to have a clear guideline to do anything in your business?
Um, for many, I mean, for many years, I had been doing it alone and
Yeah,
as a solopreneur. And
yeah.
now we are expanding our team, and there are few new team members also as a part of Team Earthy Hues. And this is when, as and when we started onboarding newer and newer team members, then I realized that till now everything is in my head, nothing is
Yeah.
out on papers and clear cut processes. I know the processes in and out without even referring to anything. I know how it works, but for
Mm.
a team member to follow that, how what should be the systematic approach?
Mm.
It is very important that nothing, once the client inquiry gets confirmed, nothing should be missed out. And
Yes.
even before the client inquiry is received, there are certain processes, there are certain procedures that have to be taken care of. So in our business, our nature of business is such that it is not only that destination knowledge is very important. Apart from that, there are various other things which come into picture. So
Yeah.
it could be related to the entire client inquiry life cycle, you can say, which might be 10
Mm.
to 15 steps, depending
Mm.
on what is the type of inquiry, whether it is international for
Mm.
booking, or whether it is for domestic tour. So depending on that, it varies, but there are
Mm.
certain steps and procedures that have to be followed. And that is when I started creating training modules related to those processes. That's
Mm.
taking one, for example, if customer life cycle, there are 10 different processes for that,
Mm.
or 10 different steps. So for each step there will be one module.
Mm.
So that is how, because even the team members, as and when, if I'm not around also, they can refer to it. So making the processes more um, system dependent rather than human
Person.
dependent. And that
Yeah.
is how we can free up the founder's time. So where I can
Yeah.
focus on more, more on strategies, business development, and there are so many other areas on which require a founder's attention.
Yeah.
So that is how we started putting processes in place.
Awesome. So yeah, I also agree that having processes in place is really great to disassociate or to break that kind of dependency on the founder for the business to run. And definitely, as a solopreneur, you don't need it unless the process is really complicated. But because you're doing it intuitively, a lot of it just comes from within. So you don't actually need to document so much. But the minute you get even one employee, it is important to have a clear process, something that they can keep referring to, something that is written step by step so that nothing gets missed. And eventually, of course, the employee may not also need to refer to the process anymore because they've been doing it for so long. But it's
Right.
good to have that process to constantly go back and check and say that are we following this or not. And at the end of the day, it ensures consistency in how you deliver, and of course, it frees up your time. Having said that, you said you created a lot of training modules, and you have processes. Do you feel that as a founder, it still requires your effort to implement the process? Like creating a process and giving that first level of download is great, but is do you have something that you do regularly so that everybody keeps checking back into the process and ensuring it's being followed?
Yes. So that is what initially, because once the processes were created, then I ensured, because my whole idea for creating the processes and SOPs and the modules in place was that I am able to free myself up from the day-to-day operations, so that I can look into other things, other
Yeah.
aspects of business. And that is how I kept on telling whenever any inquiries, for example, if it comes. So slowly, I have started giving independent control to the team members, so
Hmm.
that they start taking up the query on their own. They start
Hmm.
handling end to end, whether it is licensing with the vendors or the suppliers, or interacting with the clients. So first point of contact will be only me, and
Hmm.
then I will brief them about the situation, but I'll not spoon feed them. And
Hmm.
if they have any queries, so I tell
Hmm.
them to on their figure it out themselves. So
Hmm.
if suppose this is the scenario, then what should be their action plan, or how
Yeah.
they should be interacting, or what they should be proposing it to the client. So nothing
Hmm.
is being spoon-fed, but various examples, or you can say various, initially I have given them dummy kind of scenarios where they
Hmm.
have come up with various queries or various
Hmm.
questions. that okay, if suppose this person is traveling, they have small children, so what needs to be taken care of. So instead of me feeding that information, that as a scenario I have given them to work on, and then ask them questions around that, so that they can come up on their own. And then from time to time I keep on telling them, please refer to this document or refer to this particular module. So and if still you have that query, then you can reach out to me. So that is how they are also becoming independent. They also feel empowered, and we get to know how keen they are on learning new things, or it is not their forte, or they would be comfortable in certain other work which can be assigned to them, because there are certain people who are very comfortable with maintaining sheets, tracking down information. Some might be very good at researching. So that is how I have team members, and I already know their strength based on the time which they devote and their interest areas. Over a period of time I have come to know, and that is how I have started allocating the work also.
Yeah, and in fact, it's also a great way to achieve scale, because um, uh, I mean, you have a clear process. You are doing something which you created, but as and when team members start following it, they will also have their own ideas which they can get, which they can add to it. So you making them independent actually opens up their creative mind, and they start looking at it. Okay, there's perhaps something else that we can add here. You giving them that opportunity will help them to,
Yeah.
yeah, will help them to get more integrated into the business. So that's great. Now you have onboarded a couple of employees. Has it gotten better with each employee? Has your process creation and the way you kind of cascade it to your team, has that gotten better with time?
Yes, when I onboarded the first employee, then I was doing, and this is what I have also evolved over a period of time, because
Yeah,
that time I was spoon feeding. And
yeah,
then at some time I realized, no, that I have to be present. If any new inquiry comes in, I have to be present. Without me being there in the system, it cannot move out.
yeah,
She will do the work, but then that handholding has to be done. And without my review, it cannot go out. Without my
yeah,
review, it cannot go out. But
yeah.
initial work can be done. So with the second employee coming in, that is how I said I gave more responsibilities to the first one in a supervisory kind of a role, so
Yeah.
that when the new person, for any queries, first point of contact is the first employee. And if she is not able to answer, or if she has any doubt, then the second point of contact will be me. So that is again a process, because
Yeah.
instead of reaching out to me directly, she has somebody else to look forward to, and they both work as a team together. So
Yeah.
I feel very happy also that the way they are well coordinated, and they will divide the work among themselves. One person will be working on one aspect of the thing, and second person will be working on the second aspect. Then they will discuss it together, and then finally it comes to me. So it is, in terms of turnaround time also, it has improved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome. So I agree with you. I mean, I do the same thing, that irrespective of the size of the business that we are handling, for example, social media for, everything does go through me at the end, because I feel that there is a value that I can add. I mean, I'm not looking at the English, I'm not looking at the intent of the post, but there's a fresh eye review that you can do. And as the founder, of
Right.
course, because you're closer to the business, I feel that there is a lot of value that you can add as a founder. So everything going out the business at this stage of the business should go through the founder. I think that
Right.
is what will help you set up your company's reputation, with the rest of the world. All right. So just to close this out, do you feel that you have seen any impact, because of the way that you work, the systematic way that you work? Do you feel that you've seen any impact, perhaps in your client interaction, or feedback from your customer?
Yes. So couple of feedback from the clients also. So again, very, very, very small things these are.
Yeah.
There is a specific way that our itineraries will be. The formatting will be standard. So that is with our branding in our style. So, or anything, for example, in social media also, when our post goes out, so I have heard clients telling me that the moment I see this blue, I know that
Yeah.
the post that pop up, it is from Earthy Hues. Or,
Yeah.
and similarly, all our itineraries will have a similar kind of feel that just
Yeah.
by opening at it, you will know that this is our style.
Yeah.
So, in terms of customer experience, definitely, there has been consistency, and they are able to recall or relate our brand with it.
Yeah.
In terms of team, yes, they are also feeling that they are now not dependent on me totally, and they can take their own decisions if I am not present, and then they can refer to me. So, I mean, in terms of they becoming more independent, referring to the documents when they are stuck or
Yeah.
facing any challenges. So all those things, and ultimately it again leads to improved turnaround time, the response time at which the client can receive a response. So it has also helped in improving that response time. So these are some of the things which I feel that have really helped. And again, freeing up my time because I
Yeah.
can think of more important things to be taken care of.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. All right. So that was a great conversation. I mean, you know that I totally agree with you about processes and systems because I'm very organized myself, and it is something that our clients have also recognized. So when I asked you that question, I knew the answer because I know that people actually do recognize when you are presenting a very consistent brand image, right? Whether that's the way you work or even if it is your brand colors. So I'm a big believer of processes, and I'm glad that you are too. So what are you looking forward to? Is there anything else in terms of tools that you're planning to add which will help you become more systematic?
Yes, I am exploring Trello so that because all of us, all our team members are remotely located, and
Yeah,
we are a zero paper organization.
great.
So, and we plan that if we continue to work remotely, I mean, we can also apply for zero carbon footprint organization too,
Yeah,
because then no vehicles involved in
yeah,
commuting.
yeah,
And I mean, that will be a very important, you can say, a great recognition for us because being a
yes,
sustainable travel brand and promoting sustainability, so it means a lot to us. And
absolutely.
so, Tello, we are in the process of exploring so that everything can be communicated instead of Google Meets on a day-to-day basis, instead of Google Meet and Zoom, we can start. Handling of the queries and everything in one place, one platform, and we know what is the progress, who has been assigned what work. So more from a project management perspective, and definitely LinkedIn outreach. I will be exploring with you.
All right, awesome. Okay, cool. So, thank you so much, Bhavna, for sharing not only your journey, but how you're continuing on your path. And I feel that processes and systems are a great way to scale. And given that you are in the stage that you are right now, where you're heading towards to your next big program as well. So looking forward to scaling to a point, and I'm sure that things like Trello and CRM and whatever else that you're planning in the future will just help you function your business in a much more efficient manner. And I think that's one very important part of building a successful business. So thank you so much, Bhavna, for sharing all your insights.
Thank you, Pallavi.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.